It's Friday, June 16th, 2023. Welcome to episode 57 of the Alameda Postcast, an audio service of the Alameda Post. I'm your host, Scott Peeler. In this edition of the Postcast, work has begun on the Encinal Avenue repave. Up next, sewer line replacement on Santa Clara. Fee increases are on the way for both Ebmud and the Ferry. Firebrand opens a new cafe. The Portola Festival promises to be a better neighbor this year. The Wolves and the Anchors continue their winning ways. Support your neighbors by supporting a big Hollywood movie. And Fireside Lounge celebrates a dozen years. These stories and more on this edition of the Alameda Postcast. Our top story, on Tuesday, the south side of Encinal Avenue was traffic cones as far as the eye could see, as work began in earnest on the long-awaited repaving of the thoroughfare. Jackhammers rang out much of the day as preparations began for the project, which spans from Broadway to Sherman. Since Encinal is actually California Route 61, the responsibility for the project rests with Caltrans, and the scope of the work goes well beyond a simple resurfacing. As reported last June in Episode 6, the project includes upgraded curb ramps, enhanced crosswalk markings, upgraded signals with accessible pedestrian signals, and installing vehicle speed feedback signs. The project will also incorporate complete streets elements, including the conversion of the existing 2 through lanes to 1 through lane in each direction, a center 2-way left turn lane, 2 Class 2 bicycle lanes, and parking within the project limits. If you're thinking that sounds like a lot, you're right. Expected completion, summer of 2024. Another project set to begin this coming Tuesday, June 20th, the Cyclic Repair Project Phase 19 will happen on Santa Clara Avenue between Broadway and Park Street. The work will consist of replacing sewer mains, sewer laterals, and maintenance access. It will use a combination of open trench excavation and trenchless methods. Naturally, that will mean some traffic disruptions. Fortunately, work is expected to be completed by the end of the month. Regular working hours will be between 7:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. weekdays except holidays. No parking zones and traffic control will be implemented, but access to properties will be maintained at all times for local residents and emergency services. For further details on both these projects, visit alamedapost.com/news. The East Bay Municipal Utility District announced this week that starting on July 1st, water usage rates will increase. The average single family will see an increase of 19 cents per day, with an additional 21 cents per day increase coming next year. The price raises are part of Ebmud's new 2-year, $2.7 billion budget plan, which was approved by the company's board in a 6-to-1 vote, alongside a $2.8 billion plan for the next 5 years. The increase in funds will go to building and repairing infrastructure to combat damage caused by climate change and aging, alongside rising costs caused by inflation. The utilities mainly focused on are the water treatment plants, water reservoirs, and pipelines throughout the district's area. More information about Ebmud's budget and rates can be found at ebmud.com/rates. The San Francisco Bay Ferry remains one of the best bargains in transit, but some scheduled fare increases are now set to begin in July. In 2021, a price reduction plan was put into place and extended for 5 years, but that plan included an annual 3% increase built in. The 3% increase in fares will affect the Alameda Seaplane, Harbor Bay, Oakland, Alameda, and Richmond zones, and increase prices from the current $4.50 to $4.60, which is actually only a 2.2% increase. South San Francisco will go from $6.75 to $7, and Vallejo will see the fare rise to $9.30 from its current $9. The Pier 41 short hop and Alameda short hop will remain the same price. Also remaining the same, the 50% discount offered for youths, seniors, and others. Big increases are coming for the reserved event crossings. Look for increases of 10 to 15% for the dedicated runs to and from Warriors and Giants games. If you're planning on taking the ferry around Independence Day weekend, be aware the system will be on a weekend schedule from Saturday the 1st through Tuesday, July 4th. For July 4th itself, the ferry has planned to run a special trip to view the various fireworks demonstrations. The trip begins at Pier 41 at 10:45 p.m., moves to downtown San Francisco at 11 p.m., Main Street here in Alameda at 11:20, finishing at downtown Oakland at 11:35. We'll have full details, including a few changes to the gates on the San Francisco side of things, in an upcoming article on alamedapost.com. For quite a while now, getting a drink on Alameda Point has been pretty easy. Breweries, distilleries, wineries, no problem. But what if you're looking for a cup of coffee or some bakery treats? Firebrand Artisanal Bakery now has you covered. They've been baking their bread at 707 Tower Avenue for a while, and now they've added a cafe at their new flagship location. More than coffee and pastry, Firebrand will be featuring a full menu, adding to the growing number of choices along Tower Avenue. Firebrand, located next to the Rake at Admiral Maltings near Almanac Brewery, and around the corner from the new Saltbreaker restaurant. Coming soon to that area, the latest tap room from Humble Sea Brewing, expected to open in July. Recently tried some cookies from Firebrand. They're delightful. A note to those who have been following the Firebrand story: when the opening of the cafe was initially announced, social media posts and a story that ran on AlamidaPost.com indicated that the cafe would be open from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m., Wednesday through Sunday. Those hours have already been modified, with the shop now closing at 8 p.m. For the story behind Firebrand, see Patty Carey's article at alamidapost.com/features. Before we head back from the point, I did have a chance to try out Saltbreaker Restaurant there in Storehouse Loft. I was impressed. When I first sampled their pre-opening wares at Corks Forks Rhythm and Brews last year, I knew we were in for something special, and they have not disappointed. Congratulations to Chef Justin and everyone at Saltbreaker, a worthy addition to Alamida's amazing dining scene. Remember last year's Portola Festival, the music festival on Pier 80 in San Francisco that wound up booming through Alameda? Well, Golden Voice, the promoter, certainly got an earful. And with the festival scheduled to return in September, they appear to be taking proactive steps to avoid a repeat. In an email sent out to community members who contacted them last year, Golden Voice had this to say, quote, "With the input we received last year from community stakeholders, we will monitor audio levels at more strategic locations in and around the site, including Alameda County. We are committed to making this event even better than last year for not only the patrons, but the neighborhood and the city as a whole. Understanding that traffic congestion and sound were two factors that had a heavy impact on the community, we will be focusing a significant amount of energy and resources in creating better solutions this year." End quote. The Post has published that letter as a letter to the editor. You can find contact information for Golden Voice as well as instructions for attending the virtual permit application meeting next Tuesday. Head to alamidapost.com/op-ed. Lots of Alameda sports news. The Alameda Wolves defeated the Oakland Swish on Saturday, June 10th in a tense 76-70 game. The Wolves are 2-0 so far in this basketball season. The Oakland Swish's Nicole Berry scored a game-high 24 points, but the Wolves' Jasmine Jackson answered with 17 points and 9 rebounds as the Wolves remained undefeated. Next up, the 1-1 San Francisco Riptide, Saturday at 12:30 at the College of Alameda Gymnasium. The Alameda Anchors continue their season with a weekend series against the first-place Menlo Legends, 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday at the College of Alameda. Alameda's own Brian Wu had a great bounce-back in his second start with the Seattle Mariners, pitching 4 2/3 strong innings last Saturday in Anaheim as the Mariners defeated the Angels. He notched 7 strikeouts, victimizing 3-time MVP Mike Trout twice. Brian returns to the Hill Friday the 16th against the White Sox. You can catch that game on Apple TV+. This coming Thursday, Brian will be under the bright lights in the Bronx as the Mariners face off against the Yankees. Our next walking history tour is this Saturday. Dennis Evanosky explores Taylor Avenue and Alameda's West End and will teach you how to read a neighborhood and identify the various building styles. To reserve your tickets and to see what's in store on the upcoming tours, visit alamidapost.com/tours. If you can't make it Saturday, the tour will be repeated next Sunday. Here's something you might not think of as supporting all things Alameda, but it really does. Pixar's latest film, Elemental, opens this weekend. I've seen the film at a family and friends preview. It absolutely deserves to be seen in the theater. Movie houses have been closing left and right, with the Albany Twin the latest to go dark just this week. Alameda is blessed with a wonderful movie theater, and a lot of the folks who helped make Elemental live right here on the island. After all, Pixar is just up the road in Emeryville. Oh, and the Carl's Date short with Carl and Doug the dog is worth the price of admission by itself. AlamidaPost.com/events, your source for happenings all across the island. A lot going on this weekend. Here's just a tiny sample. Altarena Playhouse continues their run of A Soldier's Play. The Pulitzer Prize winner getting great reviews. Show runs through June 25th. The Rock and Roll Beer Stroll returns to downtown Alameda Saturday night. Great brews, great food. Event is from 1 p.m. until 5. Afterwards, you can head to Fireside Lounge for their 12th anniversary celebration, Saturday night from 7 p.m. until 1. Again, details on these and other events at alamidapost.com/events. Thank you for supporting local news for Alameda. You can join us as a member. Details at alamidapost.com/memberships. Remember, you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Mastodon, as well as our very own subreddit. Find the Postcast wherever you get your podcast, or simply tell your smart device to play the Alameda Postcast podcast. I'm Scott Peeler. I'll be back next Friday with episode 58 of the Alameda Postcast.